Fuel nozzles number 15 and number 16 removal and installation. To get access to fuel nozzles 15 and 16, the air starter duct has to be removed. Refer to Aircraft Maintenance Manual procedure. Before removing the fuel nozzles, drain the fuel supply manifold according to the Aircraft Maintenance Manual procedure. The two fuel nozzles installed at the number 15 and 16 position of the compressor rear frame are identified with a purple band. The fuel nozzles are referred to in a clockwise direction, with the number 1 fuel nozzle located at the 12 o'clock position and the number 15 fuel nozzle located at 6 o'clock position, aft, looking forward. Remove the lock wire of the 3 bolts that attach each fuel nozzle to the compressor rear frame. Disconnect the fitting nut that attaches the drain manifold to the drain shroud of the applicable fuel nozzle. Turn the drain shroud 1/4 of a full turn. Align the lock tabs of the drain shroud and slots of the fuel nozzle. Move the drain shroud in the aft direction. Disconnect the fitting nut that attaches the fuel supply manifold line to the fuel nozzle. Remove the 3 bolts that attach the fuel nozzle to the compressor rear frame. Install protective caps in the opening of the fuel nozzle and the fuel lines. Carefully remove fuel nozzle number 15 and gasket from the compressor rear frame. Carefully remove fuel nozzle number 16 and gasket from the compressor rear frame. protect the compressor rear frame openings from any foreign objects. Remove the preformed packing from the fuel supply manifold and discard it. Remove the preformed packing from the fuel nozzle and discard it. Examine the gasket for damage. Keep the gasket if it is serviceable or otherwise discard it. Apply a layer of oil to the two preformed packings. Refer to the aircraft maintenance manual for oil designation. Remove the protective caps from the openings of the fuel nozzles, fuel lines, and compressor rear frame. Install a serviceable gasket on the fuel nozzle flange of the compressor rear frame. Carefully install fuel nozzle number 16 into the opening of the compressor rear frame. Remove the protective cap from the opening of fuel nozzle number 16. Install the preformed packing on the fuel nozzle. Install the preformed packing on the fuel supply manifold line. Attach the fuel nozzle to the compressor rear frame with the 3 bolts. Torque the bolts to the appropriate value. After 5 minutes, torque the bolts again, and after 5 more minutes, torque the bolts once more. Carefully install fuel nozzle number 15 into the opening of the compressor rear frame. Remove the protective cap from the opening of fuel nozzle number 15. Remove the protective cap from the fuel line and install the preformed packing on the fuel nozzle and fuel supply manifold line. Attach fuel nozzle number 15 to the compressor rear frame with the 3 bolts. Torque the bolts to the appropriate value. After 5 minutes, torque the bolts again, and after 5 more minutes, torque the bolts once more. Connect the tube fitting from the fuel supply manifold line to the fuel nozzle. Torque the tube fitting to the appropriate value. Refer to the aircraft maintenance manual for the correct torque sequence. Do a leak check of the fuel supply manifold connections according to the aircraft maintenance manual procedure. Move the drain shroud in a forward direction and engage the locking tabs of the drain shroud into the slots of the fuel nozzle. Turn the drain shroud a quarter of a full turn to lock it in position. Connect the tube fitting from the fuel manifold drain line to the drain shroud. Torque the tube fitting to the appropriate value. Refer to the aircraft maintenance manual for the correct torque sequence. Do a pressure decay check of the fuel nozzle drain manifold according to the aircraft maintenance manual procedure. Secure the 3 bolts of the fuel with the lock wire. Check that the lock wire is correct. Complete the procedure according to the aircraft maintenance manual.